The morning on Lysara began with a soft golden haze. The glowing forest shimmered as the twin moons set behind distant mountains. Birds with lighted wings sang in harmony, and the rivers reflected colors that seemed to dance across the forest floor. For most Lysarans, it was a day like any other. But for Alara and Captain Liam, it was the day they would face a test that no human or Lysaran had encountered before. Alara noticed it first. A faint ripple in the energy of the forest. The glowing trees and plants, usually steady in their soft pulses, flickered and shifted as if the forest itself was unsettled. Her bond marks, which had been calm in the morning light, began to shimmer rapidly, sending a wave of nervous energy through her. "Something is wrong," she whispered to Liam. "The forest? It senses something unusual." Liam knelt to examine a patch of glowing moss. "The energy is unstable," he said thoughtfully. "It's not dangerous yet, but it could become a problem if it spreads." Alara's bond marks pulsed more intensely, reflecting her worry. "This has never happened before. We must act carefully. The forest, it depends on balance." Together, they followed the glowing trails of energy, moving deeper into the forest where the rivers of light flowed strongest. The ground beneath them pulsed faintly, and small creatures peeked from their hiding places, sensing the disturbance. "This energy, it's like a storm," Liam said quietly, observing the currents of glowing light that swirled through the trees. "It's natural, but it is unstable. If it continues unchecked, it could dim the forest for days." Alara felt a surge of fear. The forest was alive and it had always been stable. Never had she seen the glowing rivers flicker in this way. Her bond mark shimmered nervously, sending waves of light across her arms. "We must restore balance," she said firmly. "But I don't know how humans can help. This is beyond anything we usually face." Liam studied the patterns in the energy currents. "Maybe we don't have to fight it," he suggested. "Maybe we can guide it, redirect it. Every system, whether life, light, or energy, responds to careful attention." Alara blinked in surprise. Humans rarely thought this way. Most Lysarans would react with panic or wait for the elders to act. But Liam's calm approach, observing and analyzing rather than fearing, gave her hope. Carefully, they moved to a clearing, where the energy flow was strongest. The ground shimmered with erratic light, flickering and pulsing like a heartbeat gone wild. Liam knelt and extended his hands over the glowing energy currents. "Follow my lead," he said to Alara. "We will guide it, not control it." Alara hesitated but trusted him. She raised her hands, letting her bond marks interact with the flowing light. To her amazement, the currents responded, swirling around her patterns like dancers following music. Liam's human presence, combined with her energy, created a rhythm the forest recognized. Hours passed. Slowly, carefully, they worked together, moving their hands, stepping in patterns, and guiding the energy flows without force. Liam observed the currents, noticing subtle differences and adjusting their movements to match. Alara followed his lead, her bond marks glowing brighter as they synchronized with his calm energy. Small creatures emerged from hiding, sensing the balance returning. The glowing rivers became steady once more, and the plants and trees pulsed gently, their energy restored. The forest hummed softly, as if acknowledging the unusual teamwork between human and Lysaran. Alara's bond marks glowed more brightly than ever, pulsing in harmony with the forest itself. "It worked," she whispered, awe in her voice. We restored balance." Liam smiled softly. "The forest listened. It responds to understanding and care, not force. You taught me that, and together we guided it." The elders arrived quietly, observing the calm and restored energy. "Remarkable," Elder Myra said. "You have done what many thought impossible. A human has not only entered our sacred forest, but helped preserve its balance without disrupting it. This is extraordinary." Alara's bond marks flickered with pride and relief. "It was not just me," she said. "It was his guidance, his patience, his understanding. I have never seen a human like this before." The elders nodded thoughtfully. They had always known that humans were capable of curiosity and ingenuity, but this demonstration revealed something more profound. Humans could be partners, guides, and teachers, not threats. The forest had responded not to strength or command, but to empathy, observation, and respect, qualities that Liam embodied. After the forest had returned to its natural rhythm, Ilara and Liam walked slowly along the glowing rivers, observing the plants and animals as they returned to their normal activities. Her bond marks continued to glow gently, pulsating in sync with the calm energy Liam brought to the environment. "Do you see now?" Liam asked softly. "Humans can make a difference without forcing anything. We can learn, guide, and protect, just by understanding." Ilara nodded, watching her bond marks sparkle. "Yes, and I see that humans can inspire trust, not fear. They can create harmony, even in ways my people never imagined." As the day faded into night, the twin moons rose again, casting silver light over the calm, glowing forest. Small creatures came out to dance among the glowing flowers, and the rivers reflected the light of the bond marks on Ilara's arms. The forest hummed gently, alive and balanced once more. Ilara realized that the test had been more than just a challenge for the forest. It was a demonstration of human ingenuity, patience, and empathy, qualities that no other species on Lysera had seen in the same way. Liam's presence had proven that humans were not just explorers or visitors. They could be partners, capable of understanding, cooperation, and care for life, unlike any other. She looked at him and smiled. "Your people, your ways, they are special. I see now why humans can accomplish great things. You think differently, but your thinking brings balance, not harm. And your people," Liam replied gently, "have taught me that connection, respect, and trust are the most powerful tools anyone can have, human or Lyseran." The forest glowed softly around them, and Ilara's bond marks shimmered in approval. The storm of energy had passed, but the bond between human and Lyseran had only grown stronger. For the first time, she understood fully that humans were capable of extraordinary empathy and ingenuity. And she knew that with this understanding, the bond they had formed could help both species grow, explore, and protect Lysara together. As they walked back toward the sacred grove, her bond marks pulsed softly with quiet pride, reflecting not only the restored energy of the forest, but also the growing trust and friendship between her and the human who had sparked something extraordinary within her. The morning on Lysera arrived with a soft silver glow as the twin moons lingered on the horizon. The forest seemed to hum quietly, almost as if it remembered the events of the past days. Flowers glimmered in delicate colors, rivers sparkled like liquid light, and even the creatures moved with a calm, gentle rhythm. Everything had returned to balance, but something new lingered in the air: hope, trust, and the promise of connection. Ilara stood near the glowing river, her bond marks shining. With soft golden light, she watched the water ripple, reflecting patterns that seemed to mirror the intricate designs on her arms. Her bond marks were more vivid than ever, alive with the memory of the Festival of Light and the recent energy storm that had tested both her and the forest. Captain Liam stood beside her, his presence calm and reassuring. "The forest seems at peace," he said, kneeling to touch the glowing moss, "and it looks even more vibrant than before." Ilara smiled. "It is because of what we did together. Your guidance, your understanding. It helped me see that connection is stronger than fear or hesitation." Liam nodded. "It's more than understanding. It's trust. You trusted me with your people's sacred energy, and I respected it. That's why it responded." Her bond marks shimmered in agreement, pulsing softly against her skin. She had learned much about humans in the past days. They were not always careful or empathetic, but some, like Liam, carried qualities that could truly change worlds. And the forest had acknowledged it. Today was a day for sharing, for opening hearts and minds. The elders had called for a gathering in the main grove, where Lyserans from every corner of the planet came to witness something extraordinary. Humans had rarely been allowed beyond the outer borders of Lysera, and never before had a human been part of a sacred ceremony. Alara led Liam into the grove, her bond marks glowing with pride and warmth. The crowd of Lycerans paused to watch, murmuring among themselves in surprise and curiosity. Some were cautious, remembering the ancient teachings that humans were outsiders, but others leaned forward, intrigued by the bond between the human and the Lyceran girl whose bond marks had sparked with life beyond what anyone had seen. "Friends," Elder Myra began, her voice melodic and calm, "we have witnessed something extraordinary. A human has walked with us not as a visitor or conqueror but as a partner. Through patience, understanding, and respect, he has connected with our sacred bond marks in a way never seen before." Alara stepped forward, raising her hands. Her bond marks pulsed with energy, casting gentle light across the grove. "This human, Captain Liam, has taught me, and all of us, that connection is not limited by species. Trust and care can cross boundaries. When we respect life and work together, we can create harmony beyond what we imagined." The Lycerans watched closely as Liam extended his hand, carefully, respectfully, toward Alara. The moment their hands touched, her bond marks ignited with a brilliant glow, flowing in patterns that symbolized unity, trust, and friendship. The light danced across their hands, shoulders, and arms, forming shapes that seemed almost like constellations coming to life. Gasps of awe spread through the crowd. Never had such patterns appeared during a ceremony. The elders exchanged looks of astonishment, realizing that the human presence had not only been accepted but had created something unique and beautiful. Elder Myra smiled softly. "Perhaps this is the beginning of a new era for Lysara. If we open our hearts, humans may become our allies, our partners in understanding and preserving life." Ilara's bond marks pulsed faster, reflecting the excitement and hope in her heart. "Yes," she whispered. "Together we can explore, learn, and protect our world in ways we could not do alone." The young Lycerans approached curiously, inspired by the demonstration. They watched as Liam showed them how to move with care, to observe without disturbing, and to notice the subtle energy flows that connected every part of the forest. Ilara's bond marks responded to every touch, every gesture, glowing brighter as the children learned from the human as well as from her. "You see," Liam said gently, "we are different, but our intentions can be the same. Respect, curiosity, and kindness are universal. We can learn from each other, and together we can make life better, safer, and more beautiful." Alara felt a wave of warmth as her bond marks shimmered with patterns she had never seen. They formed flowing rivers, glowing trees, and luminous creatures, symbols of life, hope, and harmony. The forest itself seemed to respond, the glowing rivers flowing brighter, the trees pulsing gently, and the creatures moving closer, sensing the energy of friendship. The elders nodded approvingly. "This is a lesson for all of us," Elder Myra said. "We must not fear what is different. We must learn to see the value in understanding, in cooperation, and in friendship across worlds." Alara looked at Liam, her eyes reflecting the golden glow of her bond marks. "I never imagined a human could make me feel this way, like our worlds are connected, not separate." Liam smiled warmly. "And I never imagined I could be welcomed like this. You've shown me the meaning of true connection, Alara. Your people, your world. It is extraordinary." As night fell, the twin moons rose, casting silver light across the grove. Fireflies danced in the air, and the glowing rivers reflected the patterns of Alara's bond marks. Liam and Alara stood side by side, their hands still joined, sharing a quiet moment of understanding and respect. The Lycerans around them began to celebrate, not with loud noise, but with gentle singing, laughter, and the soft pulsing of their bond marks. It was a celebration of trust, of friendship, and of the extraordinary bond that had formed between two very different worlds. Alara realized that this was only the beginning. Humans could explore, learn, and teach without harming. They could inspire hope, connection, and harmony, and together, Lycerans and humans could create a future filled with understanding, respect, and glowing possibilities. Her bond marks pulsed gently, reflecting her joy and gratitude. Liam looked at her with admiration and kindness, and she knew that this partnership, built on trust, respect, and curiosity, would last far beyond the glowing forests of Lysara. And as the night sky shimmered with stars, the twin moons casting their soft light across the land, Ilara and Liam understood something extraordinary. When two worlds meet with care, respect, and understanding, even the most impossible bonds can spark alive, lighting the path to a future filled with wonder. The forest hummed softly, the rivers glimmered, and the creatures of Lysara moved freely, all bathed in the gentle glow of hope, unity, and the spark of something new. In that quiet, radiant moment, a human and a Lysaran had shown that connection, trust, and understanding could cross worlds, creating a light brighter than anyone had ever imagined. The planet Lysara glowed softly under its twin moons. The forests shimmered with light and rivers ran with a faint glowing blue. It was a world alive with colors humans had never seen. Above the trees, the sky sparkled with bioluminescent clouds, drifting slowly like drifting lanterns. Every corner of Lysara seemed to pulse with life, and at its heart lived creatures whose beauty was almost impossible to describe. Among them was Ilara, a young native of Lysara. Her hair was long and silver, catching the light from her glowing bond marks. The bond marks covered her arms and shoulders in delicate, swirling patterns. They were soft to the touch but powerful in meaning. They lit up only when she felt strong emotions or deep connections with someone else. In her culture, bond marks were sacred. They were signs of trust, friendship, and understanding. Ilara walked quietly through the glowing forest, her bare feet brushing the soft moss. She loved these early hours before sunrise when the forest seemed entirely her own. The light from her bond marks mingled with the gentle glow around her, making her appear like a moving constellation. She paused near a glowing stream, watching. Small creatures sipped the sparkling water. Each animal shimmered faintly with its own light, creating a soft rainbow across the riverbank. She heard a rustle behind her and turned quickly. In the shadows of the trees, she saw a strange figure. His movements were careful, but he carried a presence that made her bond marks flicker with curiosity. The figure stepped forward, revealing himself under the soft light. A human. Ilara had seen humans before from a distance, but she had never met one this close. They were taller than most Lycerans and walked in a way that was confident but not threatening. His eyes were a deep brown, filled with a calm intelligence. "I'm sorry," he said, raising his hand slightly. "I didn't mean to intrude. I'm Captain Liam. I'm here to study your planet. I mean no harm." Ilara studied him carefully. Humans were different from the native beings of Lysara. They were strong and clever, but their energy was strange, different from the gentle pulses of her own people. Her bond marks flickered again, but this time in surprise. Humans had never caused her bond marks to react before. She tilted her head, intrigued, but she stayed cautious. "You should not wander here," she said softly. "This is a sacred grove." Liam nodded. "I understand. I want to learn. Maybe I can help." Ilara raised an eyebrow. Help? Humans rarely offered help without wanting something in return. But there was something in Liam's calm tone that felt honest. Carefully, she moved closer, keeping a safe distance. "I am Ilara," she said. "Why are you here?" "I came from Earth," Liam explained. "We've been exploring space for many years. Lysara is unique. I want to understand its life, its people, everything." Ilara studied him, noticing the way his eyes scanned the forest. Not with greed, not with fear, but with wonder. She had seen other humans behave differently. They often tried to take, to change, or to control. But this one seemed different. Her bond marks shimmered again, a soft, golden light. Suddenly, a small creature darted past Liam's feet, a glowing, rabbit-like animal. It froze, trembling. Liam knelt carefully and extended his hand, not to touch it but to show calm. The creature sniffed, then hopped closer, sensing he meant no harm. Ilara's eyes widened. Humans rarely understood these creatures. "You see," she said softly, "these animals are sensitive. If they feel fear, they will hide for hours. And you calmed it." Liam smiled gently. "I try to respect life. I think every creature has its own language." Ilara's bond marks pulsed brighter with curiosity. No human had ever spoken this way. She decided to test him. "Come," she said. "I will show you something few humans have seen." They walked together deeper into the forest. The trees grew taller, their trunks shimmering faintly, and vines of glowing blue curled along their branches. Ilara explained the ways of the forest, the glowing rivers, the energy stones, and the creatures that only came out at night. Liam listened carefully, never interrupting, always showing respect. Each step he took, the forest seemed to respond, and Ilara noticed her bond marks glimmering more often than ever before. Finally, they reached a grove filled with ancient trees. Their trunks were wide, covered in glowing runes, and their leaves shimmered like stars. This was a place only elders usually visited. Ilara stepped inside and gestured for Liam to do the same. "This is the Grove of Light," she said softly. "It is sacred. Only those who respect life may enter. Your presence, it is unusual. Your energy, it causes my bond marks to flicker." Liam looked at her, curious. "Bond marks?" "They are markings on our skin," Ilara explained, holding out her arms. Golden lines danced along her shoulders and arms, glowing softly. "They show our connection to others. They react when we feel something strongly, usually only to other Lisserans." Liam studied her with gentle fascination. "I think that's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it." Ilara's bond marks pulsed brighter. She didn't understand why, but she felt safe with him. Not everyone could enter this grove. Not everyone could calm the creatures. And yet here he was, showing curiosity and care without trying to control or change anything. The grove felt alive. And in that moment, something shifted. Her bond marks sparkled, soft and bright. A reaction she had never experienced with a human before. Ilara felt a strange thrill of possibility. Perhaps humans were different. Perhaps some could be trusted, even revered for qualities her people admired: empathy, respect, and creativity. Liam smiled, noticing the light dancing across her skin. "Your bond marks, they're amazing. Are they responding to me?" Ilara hesitated, unsure how to answer. No human had ever caused them to glow this way. "Maybe," she whispered, "but I do not know why." As the twin moons rose higher in the sky, the grove glowed around them. For the first time, a human and a Lissaran shared the sacred space, connected by curiosity, trust, and the unspoken spark of something extraordinary. In the distance, the forest hummed with life, and Ilara's bond marks continued to flicker, a quiet promise that this meeting was only the beginning. The sun rose slowly over Lissara, casting soft pink and golden light across the glowing forest. The twin moons had disappeared from the sky, leaving only the warm morning glow. The air was filled with the soft hum of life, the gentle buzz of luminous insects, the distant calls of strange birds, and the rustle of glowing leaves. Ilara walked along a sparkling river, her bond marks flickering softly in response to the shifting light. She was thinking about the human, Captain Liam. He had stayed in the grove all night, studying the plants, taking notes, and observing everything with quiet attention. Most humans she had seen from afar were loud, careless, or impatient. But Liam, he was different. He walked beside her, careful not to step on any glowing plants or disturb the small creatures scuttling along the mossy ground. His eyes scanned everything with fascination, not for ownership or conquest, but for understanding. Every step he took, the forest seemed to react, as though it recognized his gentle energy. "Ilara," Liam said softly, "your people have a deep connection to this land. I've never seen anything like it." Even the light feels alive here. Ilara nodded, her bond marks flickering brighter at his words. Humans rarely understood the importance of life on Lysara. Many saw it as exotic, but they did not respect it. Liam's presence felt different. It carried empathy, curiosity, and patience. "Come," she said, motioning toward a grove filled with glowing flowers. "I will show you how our bond marks work." The flowers glowed in soft blues and purples, their petals shimmering as if reflecting the patterns on Ilara's arms. She raised her hand, and her bond marks pulsed slightly. "These patterns respond to emotions," she explained. "Usually they react to other Lycerans, but sometimes, very rarely, they respond to beings like you." Liam's eyes widened. "To humans?" "Yes," she whispered, "but it is unusual. Most humans do not trigger them. They do not understand our energy. But you, your presence, it is different." He reached out, hesitating, and lightly touched her hand, not pressing, not controlling, just a gentle connection. The moment his fingers brushed hers, her bond marks shimmered like liquid gold, brighter than before. She gasped softly, feeling a thrill of emotion she did not fully understand. You did that," she murmured, astonished. "I didn't do anything," he said with a small smile. "I just wanted to connect, to understand." Ilara studied him carefully. No human had ever caused this reaction before. Her bond marks danced in delicate patterns, weaving across her arms and shoulders. The forest itself seemed to lean closer, as though sensing the unusual bond forming. For the next hours they explored together. Liam asked questions about every plant, every glowing stone, every creature. He drew sketches, wrote notes, and sometimes just watched in quiet admiration. Ilara showed him how to move carefully so the forest would not be disturbed. Each shared experience made her bond marks flicker and glow more brightly. "You have a special gift," she told him. "Most beings cannot sense the energy of this land or of its people. But you notice it. You respect it." Liam shook his head. "I'm just trying to learn. I've always believed every life form has its own story. I want to understand it, not change it." Her bond marks pulsed stronger. She had felt many emotions in her life: joy, fear, curiosity, but never, like this. There was a connection, quiet, and the air on Lysara was filled with excitement. The twin moons were high in the sky, casting soft silver light over the glowing forest. Tonight was the Festival of Light, a special celebration where the Lycerans' bond marks traditionally shone at their brightest. The elders had gathered, their own markings glowing in intricate patterns, and the younger generation prepared for the ceremonial exchanges. Ilara stood quietly near the entrance of the sacred grove. Her bond mark shimmered softly, responding to the anticipation in the air. She felt both excitement and nervousness. She had never experienced anything like this before, especially not with a human present. Captain Liam stood beside her, his eyes reflecting the glowing patterns of the grove. "You will do fine," Liam said gently, noticing her tension. "Just be yourself." Ilara nodded, appreciating his calm presence. Humans rarely understood these ceremonies. They were so focused on logic and efficiency, yet Liam moved with patience, respect, and a sense of wonder. Already, her bond marks pulsed in response, a soft golden flicker along her arms. The ceremony began as the elders chanted in a melodic language, the sound blending with the soft hum of glowing insects and the rustle of the forest. The younger Lycerans stepped forward, exchanging gestures and words of friendship. Their bond marks glowed brighter as connections were made, creating a sea of shimmering light throughout the grove. When it was Ilara's turn, she hesitated. The ritual usually involved exchanging gentle touches or symbols with another Lysaran, but she had been chosen to demonstrate her bond marks to a guest, Captain Liam. She looked at him, unsure how this human could participate. Humans were not meant to activate the sacred markings. Liam stepped forward with a quiet smile, "I am honored to join," he said softly. His voice carried sincerity and respect, which made her bond marks pulse warmly. Alara extended her hand, showing the intricate lines of her glowing patterns. She took a deep breath and explained, "The bond marks respond to connection, trust, and understanding. Usually only Lycerans can activate them. I do not know what will happen with a human." Liam nodded. "I only hope to understand and respect." Carefully, he reached out and touched her hand. Not pressing, not forcing, just a gentle contact full of sincerity. The moment his fingers brushed hers, a spark shot through her bond marks. They ignited, brighter and more vibrant than they had ever been before. Soft gold, silver, and hints of green danced across her skin, weaving in intricate living patterns. Gasps echoed through the grove. The elders leaned forward, their eyes wide in astonishment. No human had ever triggered the bond marks in this way. The light rippled across Alara's body, flowing like liquid fire, illuminating the grove with colors that had not been seen for generations. Alara's heart raced. She felt a rush of emotions, surprise, wonder, and a deep sense of connection. She looked into Liam's eyes and he smiled gently, clearly amazed but calm. There was no fear, no force, only pure respect and care. You did this," Alara whispered. "I did nothing," Liam said softly. "I only shared a moment of trust and understanding. You did the rest." Her bond marks responded even more intensely, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. The elders murmured among themselves, amazed by the unprecedented event. Some traditionalists raised concerns, questioning if it was appropriate for a human to influence the sacred markings. But others nodded with admiration, seeing the beauty of the connection. The ceremony continued and the elders asked Liam to participate more actively. He followed Alara's guidance, mimicking the gentle gestures and respectful touches that the Lycerans used. Each time her bond marks reacted, glowing with new patterns that seemed to flow toward him, as though welcoming him into the sacred tradition. Alara marveled at the patterns, some of which resembled stars, waves, and flowing rivers. She had never seen anything like this. The human presence had sparked creativity in the markings, showing her that connection could transcend species. "You are extraordinary," she whispered to Liam during a quiet moment. "And so are you," he replied. "I am only here to witness and respect the beauty you already carry." The festival reached its peak when all the young Lycerans joined hands in a circle, their bond marks glowing in unison. Alara and Liam stepped into the center, her patterns intertwined with the light around him, as if weaving a tapestry of trust and friendship. The elders watched in awe, realizing that the human presence had not disrupted the sacred tradition, but enhanced it. After the ceremony, the grove was filled with soft laughter and quiet conversations. Lycerans approached Liam, curious but respectful, asking him how he had achieved such a gentle connection. He answered simply, "I listen, I observe, I respect. That is all anyone needs to form a bond." Alara felt a deep warmth in her chest. Her bond marks continued to glow softly, even after the main ceremony ended. For the first time, she realized that connection was not limited by species. Humans, if they approached with care and understanding, could share something extraordinary with Lycera. As the night continued, Liam and Alara walked along the glowing rivers, observing the reflections of their own lights mingling with the water. The creatures of the forest came out to watch, sensing the unusual harmony. Birds with wings like ribbons of light sang softly, and the luminous insects danced around them. "Alara," Liam said, looking at the glowing patterns across her arms. "Your bond marks, they are amazing. I've never seen anything like them. You have something very rare here." She smiled softly, watching the glow respond to his calm presence. "And you, human, have something rare too. Your presence. It awakens something in me that I cannot explain." They sat quietly near a tree, watching the river shimmer under the twin moon's light. Alara's bond marks flickered gently in response to his calm energy, as if continuing the conversation they could not speak aloud. For the first time, she understood that humans could offer more than exploration or curiosity. They could bring empathy, respect, and connection in ways even Lysara had never imagined. And Liam, with his gentle heart and open mind, had become a bridge between their worlds. As the night deepened, the grove hummed softly with energy. Ilara's bond marks sparkled like never before, reflecting the trust, understanding, and joy she felt. She realized that the spark that had ignited tonight was only the beginning, a promise that humans and Lysarans could learn from one another, creating connections stronger than anyone had thought possible. In that glowing forest, beneath twin moons and endless stars, a human and a Lysaran shared a bond unlike any before, a bond that shimmered with light, respect, and the quiet power of understanding. The morning sun bathed the forest of Lysara in warm golden light. Soft rays filtered through the glowing trees, and the river shimmered in blues and silvers. Birds with wings like ribbons of light floated above, singing in melodic harmony. The creatures of the forest watched quietly from the underbrush, sensing the unusual energy that had filled the grove during the Festival of Light. Ilara walked carefully along a glowing path, her bond marks shimmering softly in response to the gentle sunlight. Captain Liam followed, his eyes scanning the forest with the same quiet fascination that had first caught her attention. They had spent the night observing the forest's glowing creatures and strange plants, discovering patterns and behaviors that fascinated them both. "The forest seems alive," Liam said softly, kneeling beside a glowing moss patch. "It reacts to everything, the light, the creatures, even the people moving through it. It's incredible." Ilara nodded, watching her bond marks flicker slightly at his words. "It is alive," she agreed, "and humans rarely notice the subtleties. They usually move too fast, or they are focused on taking something, not understanding it. But you notice." Liam smiled gently. "I try to see, not touch. I try to respect. That is all I need to do." They continued along the path, passing by glowing rivers, fields of luminescent flowers, and trees with runes that shimmered softly. Every step, her bond marks pulsed in rhythm with her emotions, reacting to the calm energy Liam brought into the forest. Other Lysarans watched from a distance, amazed that a human could walk among them without disrupting their sacred land. Word of the festival's unusual event spread quickly. The elders had observed Liam's gentle influence on Ilara's bond marks and were intrigued. Some were cautious, hesitant to accept a human's role in their sacred traditions, while others were curious and open to the possibilities. "Perhaps," said Elder Myra quietly, "there is more to humans than we thought. If this one can awaken the bond marks, maybe there is a future for our species and theirs." Ilara led Liam to a large clearing where the elders often held council. She explained how the bond marks reacted to trust, understanding, and connection. Liam listened carefully, asking thoughtful questions about the patterns, their meanings, and how they influenced Lysara's energy. "You see," Ilara said, "the bond marks are a reflection of life. They respond to kindness, respect, and genuine connection. Most beings cannot trigger them, and certainly no human has done this before." Liam nodded. "Then maybe it is not about being the same. Maybe it is about understanding and caring. That is something anyone can do, even across species." Ilara's bond marks pulsed brightly at his words, as if agreeing. The elders exchanged glances, sensing a shift in their long-held beliefs. The forest Essie,